What is good, everybody? What is good, everybody's big game, James? Man, I'm back in the building. Big Burgers and Blitzes, we back in the building. Took a week off because I had to do the Senior Bowl thing. First of all, let me give a quick shout out. Well, no, let me not be rude. Let me throw my guy in here, and then we'll talk a little bit about that and a little bit some other things. But what's up with your big dog, Mike White?
I'm doing well, Bubba. How are you doing?
Hey,
I
like I
You enjoying that Senior Bowl week?
Oh, I loved it, dog. It was a great experience. Looks to be something I want to do yearly. And the more reps you get, you feel what I'm saying, the more elbows you understand and rub, then it'll just be easier to go right in for the interviews. People know your face, know your name, know who you are. You can go right into it. This is my first time doing it on that level. I did it on the level just going to the game, which was really fun. But going back there, getting behind the scenes, getting the interviews, it was just a really good weekend. Seeing a lot of players that possibly the Cowboys could actually draft. Because this was
Yeah.
a stacked Senior Bowl, I think that's what really excited me. And this I was able to attend the first junior eligible Senior Bowl ever, so I can hold my name to that I was at the first one, because there are going to be many more after this. So very good time, had a great time, and like I said, gonna do look to do more. Shout out to everybody that's in the building: Kelvin Hicks, Carlos Holloway, Paul Raw Dog Payne, C. Burleson, Daniels, Tom Sully, David Jenkins was good. Everybody keep on coming in, filling up quick. But let's talk. Have you ever did you get to have you got to look at any of these players, anything like that, before we hit this real subject that's going on right now?
I uh, I'm center. Like I've just now got the free time to kind of get some center. I'm offensive line and linebacker shopping,
Okay,
and I'm taking and that's where I'm at right there.
okay.
And I don't have a strong enough opinion to take anything to wax yet, but I know some guys that can play, and that's where my priority is the interior OL and the back seven. Because I think, or back seven, back five, back six, back four, if you will. But the defensive backfield, if you will, has been my priority
Mm.
on checking these guys out because there's a linebacker that's coming back where we should hopefully be okay there. I'm looking at priority, offensive line, wide receiver, linebacker, edge, tackle, DT, defensive tackle, in that order. That's kind of where I lay on this whole draft situation at this point.
So this is what I threw out there. Devondre Sweat from University of Texas. I got to see him at the Senior Bowl. My only issue with him was when I watched him, his first day of practice. Um, People weren't moving him. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you that right now. This is a very, very, very big man. He's 365 pounds, maybe 370. He's gigantic. When he came out on the field, he dwarfed everybody. So when they double teamed him, they weren't moving him. But his first day, it wasn't like he was really pushing them back. Like that, guys were holding their ground against him. The next day, Wednesday, he was just killing everybody in the way. He was pushing everybody in the backfield, throwing everybody around, and we're like, okay, well, my first thought is motor. I don't like a hot and cold motor because that's something I don't trust. But if it was a second round pick and he was like, I think we're at 56 or 54 right there, and he was sitting there, you wouldn't gamble on that pick. You wouldn't look at that pick, or you want to guarantee because he could be a starter with that size, especially with this new defensive coordinator coming in. Would you pass on him?
Um, Probably not, but with the way this franchise runs second round picks, I'm trading that second round pick if I get the chance, man. I'm trading that for a player. That is my goal to trade that pick for a player. I don't I don't trust them in the second round. Every second round pick they've hit on, quote unquote hit on, outside of Trayvon Diggs, has been a blue star special. It's Marcus Lawrence would have been a first round talent if he didn't get popped multiple times for PED and off the field suspensions. And Randy Gregory would have been this if it wasn't for that. It's that blue star special stuff. I can't, I say this team can't afford that. Not where they're at right now. They
No,
can't afford that. They can't afford that Kelvin Joseph. They
nope.
can't afford. They can't afford the Tristan Hills. They can't afford that.
First
They
three picks
can't.
have to be starters, pretty
They
much.
have to. They have to be, man. Otherwise, you're going to have to move one of these players,
Hmm.
and they're not capable of that.
Nope. They're not that team that knows how to do that. They don't know how to wheel and deal and dissect and drop guys for picks and
No,
finagle. They don't do that. They
sell
so
high,
daggone,
sell
yeah, they
high,
don't know how
buy
to do it.
low,
Yeah, they don't know how
and
to do none of that.
that's what worries me. But my general draft philosophy is you could pick a corner, offensive line, or a wide receiver in the first 2 days of every single year, and generally come out okay on the draft. Like those are your money positions, and they need offensive line talent.
Yeah.
Valdez he's trash, dude. I talked about it all year about him not picking up his checks, and we saw it. We saw it. That dude got absolutely exposed in the playoff game, and can't I can't deal with that anymore. We need somebody up front, the basically the quarterback of your offensive line, if you will, that knows what's going on. And I can't go another year with him.
All right. So here we go right there. I hear what you're saying. And what's up, love? What's going down? Trill Clinton says Hoffman's a dog. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to ask you this. So we don't want be at his back. I think we're all at that point where it's time to move on. We need to get a center either in the draft. Now you got Brock Hoffman right there, and he's a little firecracker on the team, and he's got little stuff going on. But here's my thing. You're undrafted, and I don't want to put that stain on you, dog. But I think it's about
You're
time.
undrafted for a reason.
We can't just keep on going to that well of undrafted guys and guys that were 7th round picks and they were just great. I'm TJ Bass, I like him, but there's a reason why these guys keep getting undrafted, and we need a guy that can hit the ground running, come in and be an animal, not somebody like a Brock Hoffman, who I'm not hating on, that's going to come in and we don't know. We don't know what the draft is, but I seen that awesome the Powers Jackson kid. The kid looks like the real deal all the way through. Everything that they said about him, I seen him up close. It's true. So if he was there, which
would
I don't
trade
know,
up for him.
I don't know if, let's say we don't know if he's there because he's getting a lot of buzz, and if he has a good combine, they're going to take him.
He's
before
a
24.
beast, dude. He's gonna have an immaculate combine because the dude's built like a refrigerator, but has a
yes,
he's that kid on your high school team that's built like a 1960s fridge, but he can dunk. That he's an absolute athlete, and I love that. But yeah, he's probably gonna go by the time it's all said and done. I bet he goes before 12.
Yeah,
he's
not going past 15 in my opinion. He's not getting past 15. Not at the senior position because it's a premium position. You're the quarterback of the offensive line, so that's a premium position right there. He's not going to drop that far, and I absolutely don't see the Cowboys gambling and moving up to get somebody. They're too scared to do that. They have scared philosophy. They have safe philosophy, scary safe philosophy, and as long as they have that philosophy, I don't see them doing any kind of in anything, in my opinion. We're just going to have to hope for the best in this draft. It's got to hit the ground running. So that's just kind of my thoughts on that one right there. Like I said, Brock Hoffman, I like you, but I feel like you're a backup, bro. Not a hate, but you're a backup. Somebody gets hurt, come in and
like
help.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's just what it is.
Yeah,
it's no hate. That's what the player is. Now you got what do you think about the TJ Bass though? What do you think about him though?
He's got a little nasty on him,
and he's got some good size to him. And he didn't look too bad in these games. Like I don't know how he dropped. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know how he dropped. He got some skills, dog. You feel me?
Yeah, he's got some nasty on him, and I would like to keep him around.
Yeah,
and whatever role he wants to fill. I'd like that. There's some. I mean, in a team that's got too many cats in the house, he's a dog,
Yeah,
and that's that's where I'm at on that. Like, really, wherever you want to play him on the offensive line, I'm good on that because I know that he's going to put in his
yeah, he's gonna
maximum
work.
effort.
He's going to maximum effort, and I feel like he has the talent too. It's different when you have maximum effort and you don't really have the talent to do it. That's a different thing because a lot of people have max effort but just don't have the talent to really handle it in these top games. But I think this is a kid who we saw in these games this year in his backup roles, and when guys were hurt, he hit the ground running. I don't feel like the offensive line was falling off because TJ Bass came in the lineup and we just fell off because he didn't handle his business. So I like him kind of going forward. Now, let's talk about this thing that everybody's been talking about. I know I've been kind of vocal with it. It's this defensive coordinator position. First of all, I know you about to go ham. Let's talk about this Dan Quinn thing because that's wild. That's I don't know what to say about it, dog. That's wild. That's wild that he did that.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
that's just wild that happened. And you
Dan
take
Quinn will
Joe
be
Wet,
fired this time next year.
bro. Now this is what I said. Now this is what I said, Mike. Now I know you're gonna bounce off of this. If you look at his career when he's been coaching, you give him a good 2 years. He's that hype guy. Everybody's hype Dan Quinn. You give him those good couple years. By that third year, he starts really falling off. You start seeing the thing. It happened in Atlanta. Okay, it was happening in Seattle. You feel me? Everywhere he kind of goes, he starts off fast and burns real quick. So I ain't really fearing it. They got some talent. I ain't really fearing it. But let me ask you this though, Mike. You talk to a lot of people, some things of that nature. Dan Quinn leaves. Obviously, that was the last job. They wanted the person. He said no. They get Dan Quinn. Is it because Dan Quinn wanted that job so bad, or was the goofiness going on in the front office? And then you got Joe Witt, who said, "Hey, I would love to be Dallas Cowboys coordinator." You follow him. What's the thing with that? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out in that aspect of, was it I just desperately want a head coaching job? Talk to me.
That Dan Quinn, there's only, Ron brought us for as much as I may disagree with him on certain subjects this time. There's only 32 of these jobs, and if you have a chance to take one of these jobs, it's it's a giant beacon. You were once a head coach. That now you can always put that on your resume that you were a head coach, not an interim head coach, but a head coach, and there's a defense there that he can work with, but that is a lame duck situation, more lame duck than McCarthy is. For as much as McCarthy wants to call, people want to say McCarthy's a lame duck. That's not. That's a more lame duck situation. That's a new ownership who is going to churn and burn through coaches until they get the results they want, whether the coach is good or not. That's what Dan Quinn walked into, and he tried to poach a tight end coach, and Dallas said, no, sir.
Yeah, you ain't getting London
No,
Wells,
sir.
dog. You ain't doing
No,
that.
you ain't. No, he's staying right here. The man's right here, which means they were fine with letting you go, but you ain't touching this side of the ball. You could touch the
I
other
mean,
side of the ball.
can we keep
You
it
could take
real?
Witt.
Can we keep it real? I mean, I'm. This is just me. This is just me. All seriousness. I'm not scared of Dan Quinn and Washington. I'm just keeping it real.
No, I would. I'm
I'm
looking
not.
forward to tap dancing on.
I don't like it because of how you did it. But I'm not scared of no Dan Quinn as the head coach in the Washington
No,
Commanders. Not at all.
no.
There's no fear at all.
I'm looking forward to facing him twice a year,
Looking
doing
forward.
backflips off his face.
Yeah. No, nobody's scared of that. I mean,
No.
Nobody's scared of that. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not tripping off of Kellen Moore being in Philly. I just think it's weird. I feel like that's just weird energy that both of those guys went in there. I'm not tripping off no Kellen Moore either. I'm just keeping it real, dog. I'm just not tripping off either one of them. This is more on Dallas than indicative on them, but I just feel like that now you got to open in a defensive coordinator. We've seen the names that have been out there: Ron Rivera, Mike Zimmer, and now Rex Ryan. And they just had Marquise Manuel, which I'm excited about that one because you finally it's the Roney rule. I know what the hell that is, but I'm still the name looked out the box and I got just okay. That
Here's the
made
thing:
me look
they've already committed. They've already not committed, but satisfied, if you will, the Rooney Rule with the dirty interview.
okay. See, I didn't know how that was. Was that the Rooney rule?
Yeah,
Was he the Roney
yeah.
Roney rule?
That they've already satisfied that by interviewing him. That is another coordinator that they brought in as an outside voice,
Now,
which
hmm
there's a little bit of hope there. There's a little bit of hope there. We all know how this team operates, but that makes me extremely happy.
yes, me too.
I know it's Zimmer. Like it's unless something drastically changes, it's Zimmer.
And that I don't
Which I don't hate it,
I don't hate it
but
either, but
I also
I
I
don't
also
like
don't
it.
like it.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but I don't like it. See, here's the thing. I don't hate it because he's a damn good coach and he is a good defensive coordinator, but I don't like it because I don't care he's a retread. Like I would have liked it when he was at Cincinnati back then. You feel me? Or when he was y'all should have I wish you could have kept him when he was having good defenses back in the early 2000s. He had good defenses back then. I always liked Zimmer. But now he's 67. I know he took off for his family and I totally understand that and respect that. But dog, he's 67 years old now.
I
Now he's a reach. I'm not feeling that, dog. I don't want nobody old up
I,
in here
I,
like
I
that.
agree. I
I'm not
agree.
saying
My
you. I
my
ain't
guy,
saying. Go ahead.
yeah, my guy would have been Rod Wilson out of Kansas City. That would be my hire. He also satisfies the Rooney Rule that's so important to people.
Right.
But he's worked under very good special teams coaches. Now he's worked under Andy Reid. Give me some of that Andy Reid tree. Give me that able to work multiple set defenses, able to handle motion, able to handle. Okay, so they hit us with this. We were expecting this in the first quarter. They hit us with this. How can we adjust? We don't have to wait till halftime. We don't have to wait till a timeout in the third quarter. How can we adjust to what they've just hit us with?
Right. And I feel
That
like
would have been that would have been my guy.
and I went through the whole list when I hear people saying, "Oh, you complaining, you give me some solutions instead of complaining all the time." Well, look, I went through the list, right, Mike, and I looked through all the defensive coordinators with the teams, and there was some names on there, former NFL players. I can't remember them all. I should pull up the list, but it was a lot of good young minds that were with these teams. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like we need to kind of get with that. I'm tired. We got to get rid of this old way in Dallas. Y'all, they have this old way of thinking that that's got us poisoned to where
It's a Rolodex.
we
It's
just
a Rolodex.
we just accept it and we just accept that what they're gonna give. No, like you said, that Marquise Manuel, that's a hope. I hope he goes in there and blows up that interview because now you threw a whole monkey wrench in everything that they want to do. I need you to go in there and blow up that interview and throw a monkey wrench in because they're gonna
Here,
play it safe. Going with Zimmer is the safe side.
and Manuel will be like, here's how we're gonna stop bunch formations. Right here. I'm gonna take the safety over the top. I'm gonna bring the outside linebacker in. We're gonna stack the A gap. That's what you want. That would be the ideal hire. I didn't even expect that one to come across the table. When I saw that name pop up, I was like, oh. So the analytics department got something to say about this. Got something to say about this hire.
Yeah. And here's the thing, because I hear a lot of people getting out, saying stuff about the age. Listen what I'm saying. Mike Zimmer is 71. You understand? I mean, 67. When they were talking about Bill Belichick, he's about to be 72. Yeah, I do have a problem with that old thinking and that old way of. I have the problem with that. Y'all can like that. I don't. I don't want that old way of thinking. Keep coming in here, recycling the same thing over and over. And then when Cowboys fans are mad, or why this keep happening, this is the reason why. We Dallas Cowboys have to think out the box. The reason why they lose, the reason why they keep falling short is because they get conservative, they get scary, and they don't want to jump out of things because we don't want to mess anything up. And this is what's killing
Change.
Dallas. They don't want change. They don't ever want to change. They want to stay in their comfortable little bubble, and they don't ever want to move from that bubble. And getting a Mike Zimmer is that bubble. And I'm sorry, Rex Ryan, I know people can say what they want. You're watching him. I don't hate on Rex Ryan. He's a good coach. But bro, you still recycle, bro. You've been out the league 8 years. Yes, you don't forget football. Yes, you don't forget coaching. And yes, I think he would stay on them players. Yes, I think he would get on them. But I just feel like, do we always have to go this old safe route? The older safe route, the guys who've been in the league 100 years, and we just gonna go to them. It's almost like the NBA. The NBA, Doc Rivers. Okay, you won one damn championship in Boston. You won one damn championship in Boston with Doc Rivers, but you keep getting a job. You keep getting a job. They fire somebody in Milwaukee, you get the job. Now you better win a championship, because every time you get to a team because you won in Boston because you had this great team, you keep falling short. And they do that in the NBA. Keep recycling coaches, and them coaches don't be winning. That's all I'm saying. When you see these championships in the NBA, and I saw, okay, Mike, it's been some guys that you haven't heard of. Toronto, Milwaukee, those guys have won championships. And if we're looking in the NFL, I'm not saying, somebody brought up Spags. Spags been with Kansas City how long, though? How long? Spags is like 60 now something, but he's been with them like 8 years now. You feel me?
That's why I wanted Johnson. But that said, Mike Zimmer has always historically stopped the Shanahan offenses, if you will.
And that's why
for
they're going to
better
get
or for
him.
worse. That's I don't love it. I don't love it by any means of the imagination, but as far as the guys they've talked about so far that's been pushing the media, and the guy, that is the one that I don't hate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Like, I made a video of it. I said he's a damn good coach. I don't dislike Zimmer. Like, I don't hate on Zimmer at all. But I'm just like, y'all going with something familiar, like y'all always do. Y'all going with that familiar. When they're talking about him coming from the outside, yeah, you was with Minnesota, dude, but this will be your third go round with Dallas.
It's basically promoting from within, because they've known him, and Jerry knows him, and
Jerry knows him like the back of his hand, dog. This ain't nothing new. So you feel what I'm saying?
It's the comfortability and.
Right, there it is. What I just spoke of, the comfort zone. They don't want to get out the comfortable bubble or the comfort zone. So if I see them hire Mike Zimmer, it's going to tell me they're going to be the same way, Mike. You can't make me feel any different when I see you hire Mike Zimmer. Yes, he's not a bad coach, and yes, his defense may be good, but I don't see where all of a sudden now we got Mike Zimmer. We're talking about Super Bowl now.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Sorry,
but talking about Super Bowl any year is kind of foolish when there's only two teams that make it.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't even be mentioning anything like that, because And here's the thing:
how about we make an NFC Championship first?
It can't even do that. So the expectations need to be seriously lowered, especially this year. Now, you said something about lame duck status. I said as soon as Mike McCarthy came back, this was going to be a lame duck status year, and it was going to be a lame duck year period, and they were going to regress, and I'm going to stand on that. I said they're only going to win 9 wins. I said they're going to be 9-8 this year, and I'm staying with it. Nothing's going to change my mind. And if it doesn't happen that way, that's great. I don't wish we be bad, but I just feel like we're going to regress after all the things I've seen. After 3 years of having this talent here, this talent there, us being able to do this, us being able to do that, and then when it comes to the playoffs, it's always falling short. I don't know how you see after the third year of all that hype and all that talent that goes through and has failed, that this fourth year all of a sudden it doesn't regress. I just don't see how that does not happen. That's just me.
I mean, I was the guy that's been trying to fire Mike McCarthy for 2 years. His complacency on game day. I've came on this show for the last since his literally since he was hired and said that he's a great coach 6 days a week.
You have.
I've said it.
You said it 100
He is
times.
a great he's a great coach 6 days a week. What does he bring on game day? We're constantly underprepared. We're constantly behind the clock. We're constantly behind the situational football. When that's his only responsibility. And I caught a lot of shit last year for saying, "Oh, he's 12-5, and he's taking over play calls, and it's going to be different now. It's going to be better than Kellen." Well, it turns out our run game sucked even more because Kellen is a damn good run designer, and we went home at the same time as we did last year because your coach wasn't ready for the game.
It's frustrating, because I want to just say you're so wrong. Me and you were going back and forth all year. You kept saying all year, 6 days a week, Mike McCarthy's good. 7, he's shaky, and you were
Yeah.
feeling like that all year. And there was some other couple people in the streets, but I ain't worried about them. You're the main person I was really listening to with it, and I was analyzing the game. I was analyzing it during the week, as you were saying. Then I would analyze it on game day, and I was getting frustrated because I was like, this dude is right. And I'm getting mad that he is right. I'm getting mad that
I don't
he's
want to be
telling me.
right.
I'm getting mad that he's telling me about McCarthy because I have a sense of it. I see it, but you know how you see it, and you're like, I don't want to believe it because I see this happening. I see this happening. I want to believe that he's not going to do this. He's a veteran. He's not going to do this. Like, he's not going to allow this to happen. He's a veteran coach. We should we should not have no problem of Green Bay getting ready for this team. And to see how they came out, it's just like, how are y'all, bro? Like, how long have you been? Like, I keep backing you. Like, you, it's frustrating because I've been going hard for McCarthy, like hard, and then I keep on saying, no, he ain't that. And then people keep saying, yeah, he is. And then boom, it happens. That's why I'm saying it's about the Cowboys. When they're like, no, it ain't, no, it ain't. I'm like, yeah, it is. Then it happens. You get what I'm saying? But it's just that point where I'm frustrated because it's like Mike McCarthy knows better. That's what I'm
Yeah.
frustrated with because he knows better. He knows better not to do that kind of stuff. He knew that pressure in this game. He knew it was going down. He knew it was at stake. And you still came out there like that, bro. Like having your team like that, like
The
that's
game
just
plan
that's
had the team fucked up. We saw them when they came out of the tunnel. We saw them on the sidelines. Like the game plan that you were instilling that week, the team did not believe, and we saw it in everybody's body language before the first kickoff. And then the defense quit by halftime. It's just, man, it's so frustrating because, yeah, is he better than Garrett?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's
but
frustrating. But it's like, bro, you were supposed to be hired to take us past that level where Garrett was. We knew Garrett couldn't take you. You came over here because you did win the Super Bowl. You had a chance to go in 2014. I keep on standing on that. If the dude would catch the damn onside kick, they run out the clock, they win the game, and they're going to another Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, you know better. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say it again, you know better. And when Green Bay, and it's sad because it's like we already know how this team runs. We already know how this team acts. But you can't tell me, every Cowboy fan sitting in here right now, you can put this in the chat. When they scored, took it right down the field and scored on us, it was 7-0. You knew in your head, you're already thinking in your head, oh shit, You're already thinking,
Here we
oh
go.
shit, here we go. Let's look at this first drive from the Cowboys and let's see. All you Cowboys fans were saying that. Don't lie, you were saying it. And then we had that drive, and that first drive, and you knew, you knew. You didn't want to believe it though, but you knew
It's
we're about to get our butts kicked.
has Mike McCarthy ever been a difference maker on
Mm.
game day for his tenure? That is my question. I know he's been a difference maker negatively. Has he ever been a difference maker positively on game day for his entire tenure? Is there one moment? Is there one
Yes, I was
game
saying it.
where
Not
you're
to cut you off, Mike. Yes, Cowboys Thanos. I was saying it because I don't trust this team. So, I mean, nothing wrong with me having that belief, and you have that belief. You can have that belief all you choose to. I didn't have that belief because I don't be believing in this team because it chokes so much. You feel what I'm saying?
Trill, Trill said that Mike McCarthy's game phasing thing was the Devs challenge. That's the last game changing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the
I mean,
last game change. That is the last game changing moment he had. In that same game, he had what was it the Jesse Holly? It wasn't Jesse Holly. It was
I
who was it?
mean,
The
12 man in the huddle shit where he flagged him on that.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, dog. I don't. That's why I don't feel like this year is going to be a good year. I just don't feel like this is going to be another
It's
year. I just don't see it.
well, they already got Mr. First Question, doing an article that Blake Bortles has had more playoff success than Dak Prescott.
It's already coming out.
You,
It's already started. It's already started. And we thought we moved past it, right? But I'm telling you right now, I want you to answer this for me, Mike, because I felt that the Cowboys, in their eyes, this was an all-in year from them perspective, where they felt like they pushed the chips in more than they did before. And I
yeah,
said this all year, that they didn't jump on anything because they wanted to see what was going to happen this year before they started going back to being the Dallas Cowboys front office. We know they failed. Now you see the Cowboys going back to being the Dallas Cowboys front office. We know smear campaign starting again, the coming out and over talking the coaches and saying whatever, that's coming out again. So it was like, yeah, we gave you your chance and you failed, and now we're gonna go back to being the way we are. So this here, and I'm gonna bring this to you because I've already said it. Anybody in the chat, if you don't like what I say, that's okay. That's okay. But I said they need to go ahead and move on from Dak and just really just do this thing over, because
I would love that for him.
that's what
I would love that for him.
that's what I'm saying for him too. I'm not saying this to be hating on Dak. I want you to just go somewhere else and hope you can win somewhere else now, dog. Because I don't think you're
Kyle
going to win
Shanahan,
here.
Kyle Shanahan would execute Brock Purdy on live TV tonight for the chance of Dak shooting up for them at the Super Bowl.
I just want to see what it
Absolutely
did.
would.
I'm gonna just keep it real. If you want my true, honest feelings on that, I honestly would love to see him see if he could go somewhere else and win that. Because I keep on hearing, and please don't hate on me, y'all. Please don't hate on me. I just always hear, you said too, Mike. He'd go somewhere, all the teams be banging down the door for him, and if he go to a squad, he'd just take them right to the chip and win. I'm gonna keep it real. I want to see that, because if he didn't, then what?
Right to the chip is a strong statement. But if he was on San Francisco, they would have probably 2 or 3 titles by now.
That's a great guess, though,
Because
Mike. That's not a fact. That's a great
I,
guess. That's a great
I,
guess.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But the fact of the matter is, this team, this front office, has not treated this quarterback properly for the way that a lot of other teams would love to have him, man. Like, I'm not saying That's not guaranteed. There's only two
Yeah.
teams. There's only two teams that go to the Super Bowl, and
But the
only
way
one
people
wins.
jump out, like it would just be an automatic. They need to stop that. I feel like they need to stop that. Like if he would just go
It would
somewhere
be
else,
automatic in San Francisco. It would be
I don't know.
automatic.
I don't know about that. And I'm not
They're
hating.
making the Super Bowl Mr. fucking irrelevant right now, dude.
You're right. You're right. But it's still a great trajectory of a guess, though. You feel me? Yes, they made it with Brock Purdy, but we don't know if it would happen with Dak or any other quarterback. We still don't know that. We go with the trajectory of what we've seen. So I understand what you're saying, but you still got to understand where I'm coming from too, because it's not seen. Just like we said, blah 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 would have been with the team, they would have went to the Super Bowl. We don't know that.
Let me do the other side of the coin. Is Trevor Lawrence taking this team further?
Is who? Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence taking who? Like Dallas, or what do you mean?
Yeah. This Dallas team, the 2023 Cowboys, is he taking them further?
Who, Trevor Lawrence? No, I don't think, because I never thought Trevor Lawrence was all that.
Tua?
Oh no, I never thought Tua was all that though. I thought
is Justin Fields?
He got to get better passing. He got potential. Justin Fields got potential though.
Is Josh Allen?
Josh Allen may. I know he turns the ball over, but Josh Allen with the Cowboys. That would be something I would like to look at. Not
okay, so we can go. We'll call that a push. We'll call that a push. Would even Patrick Mahomes take this current Cowboys team further?
See, here's the problem. You already know this. That's the question is, because you already know I'm going to say when players come to Dallas, they don't play the same. They play somewhere else. Now, you know I've been said that. So I don't know if Pat Mahomes will be Pat Mahomes here because the way our front office be acting all goofy. I don't know if a Josh Allen will be a Josh Allen here because they be goofy, just like what, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know that.
Okay.
So that's
right. So I feel what you're saying. So I feel what you're saying. So I get what you're saying. So it's a slope both ways. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I don't think Stephen Jones believes in Dak Prescott. I've been saying this for years. That's just my opinion.
They never have, because he's black.
Are you saying it?
Yeah.
Well, good, because I'm glad you can say it now. Because I always don't want to say it because white people get mad and try to say black people.
He's not. He's never been invited on the White Linen vacation. We already got literally today, the David Moore article. It's
always why it's Dak and not why we failed as a front office. Not why we traded for Amari Cooper for a fifth and not replaced a wide receiver. Not why we had him lined up with a bougie ass offensive line. It's always Dak. When they did everything they could to protect Romo in the media because he's their adopted son. And
thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're keep going, Mike. Because here's here we go. Ain't got nothing to do with race. Yeah, it is. I'm glad.
It does. I'm sorry. It does.
Thank you. I'm so glad because I'm gonna keep it real.
He doesn't look like their adopted son.
A lot of black people don't want to touch this subject because it starts a storm and a fire and all this, but it is real, and I'm gonna keep it real. You can get mad at me if you want to. The reason why I feel like Spanish people don't like Dak on the team because the connection with Romo. That's what I freaking feel.
Yeah. When Jerry Jones said I was going to name them the Dallas Vaqueros, trying to tap into that Mexican bloodline when he was trying to promote the team and get the new stadium built.
See, go ahead. I love when people say you goofy as hell and this and that, whatever, because the people don't ever want to deal with race. But people don't ever want to talk about race in reality, race in life, race in everything. But race deals with everything, and we all know. And this ain't no excuse for why this is what we know. This is why he gets a lot of hate, because he's black. That's the truth. He has black in his family. Yes, his mom's white. We know what that is. There's the hate from the Spanish people because of that dynamic. And then there's white people who don't want a black quarterback. And he does get that hate. He does get that hate. And like you said, they did everything for Romo. What didn't they do for Romo? They built a whole damn team around him. What have they built for Dak? I ain't trying to make no excuse for him. Okay, I ain't trying to make no excuse. He still has fallen short. But what have they really built around Dak Prescott? They've always said, we're going to pay you this money. Now go out and do it. They would kept on, no, we're going to give you contract after contract, Romo, and we're going to build this whole damn squad around you to make you great. Ezekiel Elliott wasn't for Dak Prescott. Ezekiel Elliott was for Tony Romo. You get what I'm saying? All these players were for Romo and what they were thinking. And then he got hurt. And Dak, the team forced the Joneses to stay with Dak. The team, the players.
It's not. Also, I don't want to make it as hard as a statement as it came off. It's more of the perception. Like, I guess it makes it sound worse, but it's the perception that they have of what a quarterback should, quote unquote, look like. Even though that Tony Romo was more of a wild ass gunslinger, roam around making erratic play type guy, that what you would typically categorize the other, Dak Prescott's and the Cam Newtons of the world of. And it's not. It's just all rolls into it.
I don't keep talking. I don't.
They didn't want him,
Mike. Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, Mike, but this is people in the chat, so I'm gonna talk to y'all in the chat because
that's good.
Y'all say. Listen, we gotta talk to people in the chat. They said Dak.
Oh yeah, of course.
Hold on. No, it's not, because that's not true. Because see, if y'all really following the Cowboys, they didn't. It was 2017. Remember in 2016. Okay, that magical year, they didn't draft Ezekiel Elliott for no dang Dak Prescott. They drafted Ezekiel Elliott for Tony Romo. So what are you talking about? And then when you talk about Amari Cooper, do you remember 2017 where they made Dak go with all those no-name receivers the whole year? You remember that when they got rid of that, go with no-name receivers? And then do you remember in 2018? Do you remember in 2018, the half of the year they still were doing it until they were falling off and people were going off? Then they made the trade for Amari.
They got flexed out of prime time.
It wasn't because, let's build around Dak that they got Amari Cooper. Are y'all serious? That's not true.
It's not true at all. They got flexed out of prime time.
That's not true at all. They have never tried to build anything around Dak.
Ever.
That whole squad was built around for Romo, not Dak Prescott.
Yeah. They drafted Zeke for Dak, even though they drafted Zeke before Dak, and they drafted Charles Tapper, who never played a fucking down.
Because he medically retired before the season. They drafted Zeke for Dak, though.
And they won him so bad that they franchise tagged him twice. Are y'all really? They franchise tagged him twice. And was Stephen Jones in the media saying, Romo's got to understand, we got to pay everybody. Was Stephen Jones in the media? Were they in the media saying those things? Were they doing anything no, they weren't doing any of that. He was staunchly coming out all the time. We got to wait. And you know what? When he got paid after he got hurt, I felt we feel sorry for you, paid. And we're in a tight spot because everybody's going off on us about you better pay him. And all right, we're going to just go ahead and pay him. But why do you think they're taking so long to pay him now? But y'all saying they believe in him.
They've never believed in it.
What? They have never believed in him, bro. No, they never. When I hear Stephen Jones tell me we think the world of Dak, that tells me no, you don't.
No, it's
no.
These articles.
I'm not reaching. Y'all don't want to just believe it. Y'all just don't want to believe it. Y'all just don't want to believe it. Okay, you can call me reaching all I want to, but look at your eyes. How am I reaching when you got all these supposedly franchise quarterbacks that are getting paid like that? Jalen Hurts didn't have to beg or wait for his money. Dak Prescott had to go to get franchised, dog, twice.
Yeah.
Why do you think he put all those stipulations in his contract? Why do you think he got rid of his agent and went to the guy that don't mess around? Because he knew the Joneses was going to screw him. Why do you think he put no trade clause? Why do you think he said you can't transition me? Why do you think all that came in the contract? Because if it didn't, they would have did that to him.
All right, Trey. Name one Hall of Fame player Dak has had on his offense outside of Travis Frederick and Tyron Smith.
And they were already there prior. before him.
I guess you could get Zach Martin too, but Tyron Smith has missed games. Tyron Frederick's been gone. Name one skill position player that he had. He had the ghost of Jason Witten. He had the corpse of Dez Bryant. I don't know. Like,
and then wasn't it C.D. Lamb and Noah Brown last year?
Yeah, it was.
Wasn't Noah Brown opposite side? And we were crying that weren't we crying that we don't have a receiver opposite of him? And then even when we got Brandon Cooks, did you get him a premium or did you get him cheap? Did y'all ever go out there and just throw all the money out for Dak?
And there's also a reason. Everybody was mad as hell. There's a reason,
And they let go of C.D. Lamb.
Amari Cooper got traded for a fifth for a reason. The book's out. You saw it this year. The man had 221 yards in one game but didn't play the rest of the season. That's what he is. That's what he is. The book was out. They tried to trade him. We talked about it on that trade deadline. They tried to move him. Houston wanted him. Jacksonville wanted him. LA wanted him. Nobody wanted to pay more than a fourth. Which you're not going to trade your number one wide receiver in the middle of the season for a fourth round pick. You're not going to do it. Period. That's stupid.
Regardless how I feel it. Regardless how I feel it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just saying, Long Beach. You sitting there saying the whole damn team is black. The whole damn NFL is 80% black. That makes no sense what you're saying. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hold on.
I got a white man on this show saying it's because he's black, and this dude is a hillbilly.
Easy.
You're a good hillbilly. You're a good Billy. You feel that? You are, bro. Like,
you're not wrong.
And it's what we all been feeling for a long time with this, but we don't want to say it because we don't want to start controversy. That's why I don't say it, because I don't want to start the controversy, because I don't want to hear the noise of people doing this as soon as you said, oh, that's crazy. Oh, I ain't listening to this. Oh, that's why I don't say it. That's why I don't talk about it. But that's what I've been feeling for the longest time. How long have y'all been seeing me with this show saying that the Dallas Cowboys and Stephen Jones don't believe in Dak Prescott? How long have you been hearing me saying it? I've been saying it for at least 4 years. At least 4 years. I said he wasn't going to get paid his first contract. People were like, oh, he's going to get paid. He got paid because I felt like they were feeling sorry for him, and they were in a spot where we don't got nobody. And they got Trey Lance, because the Cowboys love to develop backups now and know how to finagle people and know how. They trade Amari Cooper for a fifth. So all of a sudden they're going to get a Trey Lance for a fourth and develop him and get a higher pick or develop him for picks. Really? I don't believe that at all. You got Trey Lance because now we got something against you, Dak. Now we can use something against you. So if you balk, we got a young guy who we think got an arm. He was at San Francisco, so we still think something could happen. So we're going to keep him in this hip just in case. But y'all sitting there saying they believe in Dak. Okay. Keep telling yourself that.
All right, we gotta. The wifey's texting me. We gotta change the subject off to something not so hot button. Let's move off of that. All right. Let's. Yeah, I mean it. We've been kind of beating the horse. I get you, Bubba. We could beat that horse another 20 minutes if you wanted to. I mean, if you want to, we can.
I mean, I ain't scared of it. This ain't. People can say what they want about it. People don't ever want to talk about race. They don't ever want to talk about it in football. They don't ever want to talk about it in sports. It's never real. It's never. That's always fake. It's always make believe. That ain't happening. That's just you always imagining. No, it's not. Race is real. Racism is real. And just because you got a team full of black players, don't mean you can't still be a racist. I'm not saying he is a racist, but that's what I'm saying. Just because if you're working there and you have a whole bunch of one race working with you, doesn't mean you still couldn't be a racist. Okay, I've been around racist people.
They're just employees. It ain't no different than
so nobody is trying to say any of that. I'm not calling anybody a racist. What I'm saying is they didn't believe in him, and I feel like that blackness in it had a factor with it. And if you see why he's hated on in this Dallas Cowboys community. I feel like race is a factor of why he is hated on in this Dallas Cowboy community. I've been saying that from a very long time. I haven't been jumping out with it. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go on a tangent every show and talk about race. No, I'm not. But that is what I've been feeling for a very long time. I've said that they haven't believed in Dak a very long time. So this isn't anything new. So if you just jumped in here and heard it from me, that's fine. If you don't like what I'm saying, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But that is my opinion on it. That's how I feel. I feel strongly about it. And I'm not changing from it because people are not agreeing with me on it. And that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, you're
That's
not.
fine. That's fine. I can, but people say I'm definitely reaching, but you're still in here listening to it. I don't get it.
Yeah. Let's
But let's talk about, because we getting ready to head up off here anyway. It's like my Boothang said food is ready. But you know what? I'm glad you said it, Mike. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you came out and said it. And it makes me feel better as you said it. I don't really care what anybody else is thinking about it. I'm glad you said it because a lot of people have been feeling it, but nobody else wants to ever talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. They always just want to sweep it under the rug like it don't exist. But that's fine. I'm glad it was talked about. And you know what? I ain't gonna never run away from that subject. But like I said, they're not paying Dak right now because Steven's in a rock and a hard place because he don't want to pay that money to Dak. The price has been going up. It's been going up, Mike. You said it on your Twitter. It's been going up. He don't want to pay him, and now he like, what am I gonna do? That's why they're waiting because he don't know what to do.
yeah. It's
The price is only going up. Todd France ain't gonna lose this.
No,
He ain't gonna lose this. Like I said it on Twitter earlier today.
the quarterback price is like it's nationally set like propane. You pay it.
Or do you not want to heat? Period.
Do these other teams make their quarterbacks that are supposedly the guy wait forever? Do they play these negotiation games in the media all day, all night? Do they play these games? I don't know. I don't see it.
Nobody else does this.
Quiet.
Nobody
I
else
see
does.
it's quiet as hell. Just like this, Mike. We see it as quiet as hell. Next thing you know, blah blah blah, signed to a big deal. We don't hear no noise. Then we see the signing. But we're going through the same thing once again, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, you remember that 3 months where the Dak Prescott contract wasn't a topic? That was really nice. I really enjoyed that. That was really great. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's crazy. But shout out to B-Bird for the $5 holiday. So why do they get away with negotiating through the media? Franchise him,
because they pay the media.
Treating him as such wouldn't do that to Herbert.
David Moore gets a check from Jerry Jones. He works for quote unquote Dallas Morning News. Jerry Jones pays his bills. That is Mr. First Question. There is a reason he has been Mr. First Question for hell going on 25 years now. That article didn't appear out of thin air. He didn't wake up this morning and go, you know what? I'm going to talk about Dak Prescott and Blake Bortles. That's not how that works, man. That's not how that works. Sorry. You know, if you believe that,
right.
If you believe that, I got a bridge for sale.
And you see what I'm saying, Mike? But yet we're supposed to believe in this organization that when Jerry Jones is sitting there saying in front of everybody, oh, by my estimation, this is all in season. Are you really supposed to believe that? And they're playing these games, bro? That's why I'm not falling for the okie doke with this team.
Nah, it's hey, you know, if they want to trade somebody,
I'm not crying if Dak leaves. That's what you don't understand. If they want to start over and rebuild, I wouldn't care.
I follow his ass. I'm done with this team.
I'm so for real. If they wanted to trade him right now and start all over, okay, so go ahead. That's how I feel. I'm so for that. If you go ahead and want to trade Dak Prescott and get rid of him and start over with some Dre Lance or somebody, go ahead. I'm not gonna be crying about that.
Go ahead. Hey.
I promise you, I'm
buy that ticket. Buy that ticket to purgatory.
I want that for you.
I want this team to go to purgatory because maybe when nobody's talking about Dallas and crapping on them, maybe that's the only way they'll change. Because as long as they're competing, as long as they're competitive, as long as they're in the news and still with a chance, they're never gonna change.
They're not going to be competitive in purgatory. They were 5-11 those years. Four and 12. They were
4-11, 5-11, 3 straight years.
yeah, and they were. That's what QB purgatory is. And if you want to sign up for that, by all means, man. And I would love for Dak to be gone from this franchise. That way, the people that hate him could be rid of him, and the people who believe that the Jones boys had their best interests in mind could build around. They could do the San Francisco thing where they have a $260 million payroll with a $700,000 QB contract, and they could maybe go to the Super Bowl and then lose it, just like San Francisco is going to lose it this Sunday because they don't have the best quarterback.
Well, hey, like I said, y'all, all the people who don't think race exists, salutes to you. Salutes to you. I'm giving you a salute. For those who don't think race exists in this or football, I got salutes. For real, straight up. But yeah, we're in purgatory now, but we ain't seen the real purgatory since that time. And go ahead. Like I said, all the people that hate him, go ahead, just get rid of him. Just stop talking about him and trade him. Just
you can go get
sit down with Dak.
McCarthy.
Yeah, sit down with Dak and say, hey, what teams, since there's no trade clause, what teams would you like to see if we can get? Let's see if good. First of all, Dallas would suck at that. They wouldn't know how to do that, and they would fumble the ball all the way there with that. They would mess it all up. So that's why they don't do it, because they don't even know how to do that right. You feel me?
That we would trade Dak and end up with Justin Fields.
Yeah, and I remember Quincy Carter, and the reason why they got Quincy Carter was because Jerry was trying to follow the trend. Okay, I talked to Quincy Carter. Okay, I interviewed Quincy Carter twice, so I got the whole story with Quincy Carter. So don't hype that Quincy Carter thing.
He wanted his Michael Vick. He wanted his Michael Vick.
That's all it was about. This wasn't about, oh, we want to be equal. No, I interviewed and I talked to Quincy, so I know all about that. So don't even throw Quincy in this equation like, yeah, the black quarterback, and then no, Jerry was doing nothing but following the times on that. Wasn't about no equality or nothing like that. That's
the fact of the matter is, white, black, brown, or purple, there's not 15 people on planet Earth that are capable of playing quarterback at the level that Dak Prescott or any other guys in his category are capable of playing football at. If you think that you can just go find one in the draft, then I have a bridge to sell you, and I'll make you a damn good deal on it. That's where I'm at on it. Like, I get it. If you don't think he's the guy, I get it. But holy
fuck, show me something proven better. It's not there.
It's not there. And if you have someone who can take you to the playoffs consistently, because the only reason they've been to the playoffs is because the quarterback, I don't know what else you want, man. That guy doesn't exist. The guy,
like, everybody was clowning KC for trading up for Mahomes. Now look at it.
Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be the more athletic Peyton Manning. He was going to be football
Jesus. He was going to save us. He was going to be this. Look at him.
Yeah,
Justin Herbert blows a 27-point lead in the playoffs. Look at him. Like, all these guys that people say are guaranteed to be better than Dak get into the league, and not only are they not better than Dak, they're consistently worse.
But go
down to the quarterback tree and just shake you one out. That's where I'm at on it, man. Like, I get it. He may not be the guy, but holy shit, what's out there? There's nothing out there, man.
What is it? Are we gonna go get
Caleb Williams, Kyler Murray, and shoe lifts? Like,
what's out there? Grass is greener. May have weeds and may be full of shit, but it's grass is greener.
I mean, I'm gonna just answer this question right quick. Can I ask you a question, BJ? Do you believe Dak can take Dallas to the Super Bowl?
No.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's two. This my reasons. I know Mike has different reasons than me, but just from me, I just feel like these last 3 years with this organization and these last 3 years, I just don't think it's going to happen. I just don't think he is going to win a Super Bowl here. I feel like these last 3 years were the opportunity. I feel like that window is gone now. This is just what I feel in my heart. That window is gone with Dak to win the Super Bowl here in Dallas, in my opinion. And that's why I don't want them to sign him to all this money and then it just go through just the same thing over and over, and just he getting this hate and people just mad. I just want that to be over with now, dog. I just want him to be able to try to be smart and make moves, because you don't really want to sign him to this money. I feel like it's just going to be a bad way to go. Y'all really just let this next year play out, and then y'all should just go y'all separate ways. This is my opinion.
Okay, so let me say something on that. Regardless how I feel about Dak, even the people that hate Dak should be supportive on him signing an extension as soon as possible, because that makes him easier to move.
I know you've
and
said
it gives and it gives your team leeway in free agency. By the way, you have Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb to figure out this offseason.
that's going to be a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and all those guys are breaking the bank. And you hear about Stephen Jones crying about that already. They're already throwing the things out there. So why should we have to go through this again? They're going to cry in the media, and they're going to be crying about Parsons. I already said this when Parsons was a rookie. They better win it while he's a rookie before he gets that contract deal, because he's going to break the bank. He's going to want to get that money. CeeDee Lamb has just come off 2 consecutive big years. The bar is going to be 30. You think Stephen Jones is going to do is cry about that?
I would love to trade him. Sorry.
I ain't tripping if you trade CeeDee Lamb either. Like, if you're trying to, but Dallas don't know how to do those things.
Quit, man.
I'm not hating on CD either. What I'm saying is Dallas is not the type of organization, Mike, that just knows how to wheel and deal and flip people, and that's why they don't make this. They're so basic. And I heard somebody say something about, man, if you don't like it, then don't tell me if I don't like it, leave. No, I'm allowed to talk about this, because if we're always saying these positive unicorn things about Dallas and they're never doing it, why do we always have to have this supposedly positive attitude and have nothing but solutions every single year, when every single year they have these solutions? Every single year you're talking about these things, and every single year it's that same, not regular failure, the big failure, the failure that everybody's talking about that you're going to do, and you prove them right. So I got to come back next year and say, oh, it's going to be great this year. It's going to be great. We'll be okay. We get this defensive coordinator who's 67 years old. It'll be all right. We signed this player from over here. We'll be okay. Well, I can't keep saying that, and I'm allowed to be able to voice that opinion about that and say, I don't agree with this. And we keep on talking about ownership. when are we going to ever put our foot down? Because if we don't ever put our foot down, and as fans and keep going against this, where are the Joneses ever going to change? They're always going to stay in their comfortable bubble. And if we keep going and saying, yes, let's take this coordinator, because they ain't giving us no other options, instead of saying, no, we don't want him, y'all got to do better. If we rebel as fans and say that to them and make that voice loud, they got to hear it. But if we keep going with what they're saying, oh, let's get this guy, okay, yeah, we'll settle for that because we ain't got nothing else, they're never going to change. And that's just how I feel about it. That's just my opinion. Sorry.
Yeah, you signed Dak to an extension, preferably yesterday. You go ahead and get the CD Lamb deal done, regardless how I feel about him, and you have a lot of leeway on future moves with number 11. And if there was one player, this is really going to piss people off. If there was one player I'd be okay with getting a haul for, you tell me I can get that Tyreek Hill haul for number 11. I'm okay with that, because I am tired of the bagging your own farts, Jalen Smith type shit that dude's been picking up. And if you want to talk about setting a franchise up with picks that could really help them in a year where they're kind of cat bound because they got their self over the barrel with the Dak Prescott thing, that's the one position that I would be okay with saying, you know. And I love him. I think he's great. I think he's a transcendent player, but he's also a guy that is, I mean, we've seen it, man. We've seen it with the way to take him out of the game is to run straight at him. We literally just watched it happen in the playoffs. And then he goes out there and he says, watch the tape. Just like Jalen Smith said, watch the tape. Well, I'll watch the tape, man. I'll watch the tape. And, you know, they average 8 yards per carry, and Jordan Love had 1.30 EPA per play against you. I watched it. I guess you got a different tape.
You know what? I don't understand how I'm going to say this. I don't hate what you're saying, but I don't sit there and say, "Oh, I hate Michael Parsons, this and that." But
I don't. No. That's not.
I know what you're saying. I'm not even know you're not even coming like that. But that would be a Herschel Walker type deal. You could get a whole crazy buntload if you don't want to pay them. If you don't want to pay that money, because if the Cowboys were really talking about the Patriot way, we've seen when the Patriots had their players, right, and they were at peak performance and they were coming up for those deals, we would be like, what? The Patriots traded who? For what? Are you serious? They did that because they knew that contract was coming up. They didn't want to pay that, and they wanted to keep on funneling it through. And we saw a lot of players go that had a lot of tread on the tires, and they get rid of them before they got to pay that money. So all I'm saying is Michael Parsons is a freak, totally different. But if the Cowboys jumped out in that arena and said, we don't want to pay that money, then I ain't going to be like, what? I want to see what you would do. I would be curious to what y'all would really do.
That's where I'm at on it. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm not saying let's.
I have zero faith in them.
I have zero faith they would do that, but I'm not advocating it. But if they said we don't want to pay Michael that money, we got to, and then they wanted to look at stuff, I wouldn't be like, "What? Are you serious?" No, I'll be like, "Well, what you trying to do? What's out there? I'm curious. What's out there?" And if they didn't want to pay CD, I would say, "Well, what you trying to get for them? Like, are you trying to get big too far? Like, what are you trying to do?" I'm not opposed to looking at all that.
You're gonna get up for a quarterback, which ran a quarterback in this draft. So what are you trying to get up for? Because there's not a quarterback in this draft. These quarterbacks suck. There's not a quarterback in this draft. There's not.
Yeah.
So what do you want to get up for? The best quarterback in this draft is Penix, and he's got a left-handed wind up like a trebuchet.
Like, I've seen enough film to know that. Like, it's just, what are you gonna do? And that's my point when people talk about, well, just move on from Dak. I'm like, okay, cool. What are you gonna do? What's your option? Because I tell you right now, Kyle Shanahan would send Brock Purdy to Siberia for Dak Prescott right now, and he's gonna make a move for Kirk Cousins in this offseason. That's already in the books. He's already on. He's been standing Kirk Cousins since he was a fucking quarterback coach in Washington. That's where he is, and that's a type of guy that would absolutely love to have a quarterback like that can make the throws he needs and has a defense that can keep the game in check and just move down the field and win by 7. If there's a player you want to move from this team, it's not the quarterback, it's that edge rusher. In my opinion.
That's a lot of money to pay, though. He's gonna get
It is. It absolutely
a lot of money.
is.
Do you think they want to invest somebody that's older and just come off a knee injury? That's tough. That's tough. I don't know if they'll do that. That's a big gamble. That's a big gamble. And I don't know. I don't know if Lynch would want to jump out there and do a gamble like that with all this stuff on the line, especially if they don't win. That's a big gamble.
And you know,
and just like you said, Purdy's still cheap
for now. Purdy ain't showing up to camp on that contract.
Oh, I know. He
win, lose or draw. If Purdy has an agent worth his salt, he ain't showing up to camp on that contract. His free agency year's in 2025, which means he has a year full of guaranteed salary. I think it's right at about 800, maybe 825. Last time I looked at it, don't quote me on that, but I know it's under $1 million. So you're talking about a quarterback that's literally playing in a Super Bowl. You expect to play next year with no guaranteed money or anything like no. Purdy ain't showing up to camp. Win, lose, or draw. But that's another conversation. The fact of the matter is,
let me quickly ask you. You know, we know about Dak, but we know about this Bears thing. So we talk about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
What would you be like, man, this team gonna be terrible if this was a Dak, Justin Fields, and maybe some picks there? How would you feel about that? Would you be like, okay, I want to see Dak go over there, and I'm open to see how Justin Fields will play in Dallas?
I'm down to get Dak out of Dallas.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying, would you have an open mind with Justin Fields being here, thinking he could be anything in Dallas?
I'm not sure what Justin Fields is, man. But I'm also not sure that Chicago should cut bait on him. I just don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Know. They're in a tough situation over there in Chicago.
I don't.
That's a tough situation there.
They're sitting there at the top of the draft, and they've got.
That's a tough situation right there. If you're a GM,
that's where you could be. That's where Dallas could be in 2 years, and getting the QB purgatory, and
finally ended up at the top of the draft. Man. I'm not even an OSU. Like, I don't know.
Because, I seen him. I'm in Ohio. I'm in here in Ohio, right? So I seen him. I was not impressed with the throwing ability, even when he was at Ohio State.
No, it's
CJ Stroud was a different, and it's funny how they hated on Stroud more. They hated on Justin Fields, and Stroud was a better quarterback than Justin Fields at Ohio State. I saw it.
mhm.
You could see he could throw the ball. He wasn't a scrambler. He wasn't a dual threat. CJ Stroud is not a dual threat. He is a quarterback. Justin Fields was a dual threat.
Stroud should be the NFL MVP this year. We've talked about that many times. If we're talking about straight up most valuable player, CJ Stroud should be the NFL MVP.
He and Justin Fields ain't the same to me.
No, not at all.
I've seen them both at Ohio State. They are not the same. And I used to watch them, and people used to out here in Ohio. They was hating on CJ Stroud bad. I was crazy.
I don't get it. I hated him in the draft, and it's just the.
It's so difficult to project these quarterbacks and stuff. And he gets to Houston.
D'Amico Ryans has a calming presence, and he leaves him alone with his offensive coordinator, and he doesn't touch the offense. And next thing you know, the kid's out there, and he's the only reason they're winning games. And he loses his wide receiver one, and what was that, like week 10, week 9, week 10? He loses Nico Collins, and he's still out there just balling. He was an extremely, extremely impressive year for that kid. And yeah, once again, if I had an MVP vote, it would be CJ Stroud, man. Absolutely that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dog. He's definitely the truth. But let's get off here, dog. I ain't gonna hold you no more. We had a great show today. Really appreciate my food's ready pot cold. You feel me? But I'm glad we touched on some subjects that people may not want to talk about. But you know what? We're gonna talk about those here. And the good thing about this is they're all opinions. And nobody's gonna hate on nobody's opinion on here. You might come hard on your opinion, I might come hard on mine, but there's just opinions. We ain't gotta be beefing over it or nothing like that. Talking crazy.
It's all respect, man.
That's the problem. But the problem in these streets these streets now and media, I'm gonna say this before I get off, is that people don't know how to talk to people with opinions. So like if I say I believe this, or like we were talking about the situation with race, it's opinion that we had, right? That's what we felt. We felt strongly about it. Other people had their opinion. They felt strongly about that. We have the difference of opinion. That's all it should be. It shouldn't be where people saying mother sucker this or F that or you on crack or you shouldn't have to say those type of things just to get your point out. That's all I'm saying. So I feel like for the most part it was cool up in here. But just because if you have an opinion, I'm not gonna hate on your opinion. But I might strongly disagree with it, but I'm not going to be disrespectful to your opinion. And that's what I want to make sure people understand when we're doing this. Stay respectful. Stay respectful at all times. That's my thing.
When I speak, there may be an opinion that you hate in that moment, but 5 minutes later, I'll have a topic that you completely agree on. So just maybe hold it in your pocket. And then we're not going to agree on everything because we're all people.
I mean,
we don't are.
We don't agree on everything.
We don't agree on everything. We've been at it multiple times. But the fact of the matter is, we keep talking. We have healthy dialogue, and I may say something you completely agree with 5 minutes later after something that I say that you absolutely hate. And I appreciate everybody in the chat for coming through. Appreciate it. It got a little hectic there for a second, but that's what it is. That's human nature. And I'm happy that we're able to have that type of dialogue on our show, and it comes to a healthy conclusion.
Yes. I like that as well. And that's what I feel good about, because I don't like ending a show and it feels not resolved or it doesn't feel clean. And that's why I like how it got a little hot, but it was able to simmer and we all still good. And that's what I do like about my channel and the people that rock with me on this channel. It's real grown. So I like
Yeah,
that. And I
it's
want
not.
everybody.
There's no.
Want,
Sorry,
no. Go
I
ahead.
mean,
No, go ahead.
there's no sponsors or inside beef or any boosters or whatever the case may be. It is a healthy dialogue that is open for everybody in the chat, and it's something we've done every Wednesday. We will continue to do every Wednesday, and I genuinely appreciate the dialogue and the
Mm-hmm.
folks in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Hey, appreciate you, big dog. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, so like I said, I went a little long, but I'm gonna say this one last thing before we go. I thought this was a very good conversation. I felt like that certain subjects need to be talked about because they ain't talked about. So I felt like the fact that we could have that good back and forth and nobody was going crazy with it, that's good. So I feel good about this show, how it ended, how we got to talk about a lot of stuff, but we're good. I like that. That's how shows should be. I feel like you should always have healthy dialogue. Talk. You should be able to talk about things that I don't know. Just feel like you should be able to talk. So I really appreciate this show tonight. Thank you for everybody that was in it. Thank you for everybody stayed in the chat. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for all the good comments, but the back and forth, the good debating, and the good thoughts from everybody. So I appreciate everybody. Maybe having an announcement or something coming up soon. You will hear about it. It's some very good stuff. Just have to iron out some things. Some really big things could be happening in the future. Really big things, but I don't want to jump the gun. And they're already in works. Like they're right there. Just have to do some prayer on it, pretty much. But appreciate all y'all. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have. Trust me. Once I get this thing, if it goes the way I want it to go, people gonna be able to call in all the time. The show gonna be the show's gonna be totally different. So I'm not gonna say too much, but if things work the way we want it to work, then yeah, everything you see here is gonna be totally different, and you'll be able to call in all that. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. So just just stay with it. Just stay with it. Appreciate y'all, and I'll be talking to y'all soon. I'm out.